Hi my students, today we are going to learn about the special senses in our body. So these are the intended learning outcomes of the lecture. So here we are going to learn about the skin, eye and the nose. We are also going to learn about the tongue and the ear. So when we are talking about the sensation of our body, we can divide it into two major groups. Those are the general sensors and the special sensors. The general sensors includes the sensors that are not specific, and the receptors involved are not specialized, or they exist as free nerve endings, and the information passes through spinal nerves. When we are talking about the special sensors, they are highly specialized receptors, and they found in special complex sense organs. The information about the stimulations goes through the cranial nerves to the cerebral cortex. So these are the differences between the general sensors and the special sensors. The main organ involved in general sense is the skin. So it is called as integumentary system. The integumentary system includes the skin and its accessory structures such as hair, nails, glands, as well as blood vessels, muscles and nerves. When we are considering about the anatomy of skin, we can divide it into three major layers. Those are the epidermis, dermis and the hypodermis. Epidermis is the outer thinner layer. It is composed of epithelial tissue. Dermis is the inner, thicker layer. It is the main part of the skin. Just beneath the dermis, hypodermis is there. Hypodermis is important for the attachment of skin to the underlying tissues and organs. So it is also called the subcutaneous layer. In the picture below, you can see the epidermis, dermis, and the hypodermis. We are considering about the anatomy of epidermis. It is composed of the epithelium. So, it is a keratinized, stratified, squamous epithelium. This epithelium contains 5 major layers called stratum corneum, stratum lucidum, stratum granulosum, stratum spinosum, and stratum basale. This image shows the 5 layers of the epidermis. Slowly read it and get an idea. I don't expect you to remember all these descriptions. Just remember, there are 5 layers and just the names of these 5 layers. This picture again gives you the idea about these 5 layers of the epidermis. Now we are going to talk about the dermis, the thickest layer of the skin. So it is composed of the connective tissues which contain collagen and elastic fibers. It contains 2 layers, the outer papillary region and the inner reticular region. The papillary region consists of areolar connective tissues which contain thin collagen and elastic fibers, and also dermal papillae, corpuscles of touch, and also free nerve endings can be seen there. The reticular region consists of dense irregular connective tissue which contains collagen and elastic fibers. There are adipose cells, hair follicles, nerves, sebaceous glands, and also sweat glands there. Go through these pictures carefully and get an idea what are the structures in the skin which lies in different regions of the dermis. Again, this picture gives you a clear idea what are the structures in the dermis. Hypodermis is not a part of the skin. It is just a layer of tissue which attaches the skin to the underlying tissues and the organs by a fat tissue. It contains Pacinian corpuscles which detect external pressure applied to the skin. So, this hypodermis is also known as subcutaneous tissue or superficial fascia. It contains more adipose tissue than dermis, and also the major functions of hypodermis are to act as an energy reservoir and also as a thermal insulator. When we consider about the accessory structures of the skin, it includes hair, skin, glands, and nails. Hairs are also called villi. They have a number of important functions such as protection of the body and reduction of heat loss as well as sensing light touch. When we are talking about the sebaceous glands, they secrete an oily substance which is called sebum. It prevents dehydration of hair and skin and also inhibits growth of certain bacteria. The skin also contains sweat glands which secrete sweat. In the skin, there are different types of receptors which function to give you different types of senses. For example, pain receptors which detect touch or the pressure on the skin, and the thermoreceptors which detect changes in temperature. The mechanoreceptors respond to pressure and touch. Chemoreceptors detect chemicals available in solutions. So chemoreceptors are important for the detection of blood composition, for smell as well as for taste. Now we are going to talk about the special senses, which are the specialized organs to receive a special sensation. The special senses that have sensory receptors located within relatively large sensory organs located in the head. For example, nose for the smell, tongue for the taste, eyes for the vision, and ears for hearing and equilibrium. So now we are going to talk about one by one. First we are going to talk about the nose. Nose have smell receptors. They are called olfactory receptors. They are a type of chemoreceptors. That is because they respond to changes in the chemical concentration of the solutions inside the nose. So these chemicals must be dissolved in the mucus of the nose in order to activate the smell receptors. In this picture you can see that smell receptors or olfactory receptors are located in the roof of the nose. Let's see about the smell sensation. The smell receptors which are in the roof of the nose first become activated by the chemical changes in the mucus. Then this information is sent to the olfactory nerve. Olfactory nerves send the information along olfactory bulb and the tract. And this information is received by different areas of the cerebrum, and at the centers of the smell sensation, the cerebrum interprets the information and then detects it as a particular type of a smell. The sensation of smell usually undergoes sensory adaptation. That means same chemical can only stimulate smell receptors only for a limited time period. So, smell receptors no longer respond to the same chemical and you can no longer smell it. For example, you can smell the perfume when you first encounter it, but in few minutes you no longer smell it. Now we are going to talk about the sensation of taste by tongue. The tongue contains taste receptors or gustatory receptors. They are also called taste buds. Taste buds are found on the bumps of the tongue. These bumps are called papillae of the tongue. Taste buds are microscopic, so you can see them in the image below. There are 4 different types of taste receptors. They are activated by a particular group of chemicals which gives different types of taste. And these different types of taste receptors are located different locations of the tongue. Therefore, you can sense different taste in different parts of the tongue. For example, you can taste sweet at the tip of the tongue. You can taste sour in the sides of the tongue and salty at the tip and the sides of the tongue, while bitter taste at the back of the tongue. So this image you can see the different parts of the tongue which gives different taste, and also the anatomy of the taste bud. Carefully go through it and get an idea. So this is the end of the first part of this lecture.